Welcome to the show, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I don't know why I'm yelling so loud. This is the sounds of Monchichi Rex. Second Winds, look him up. He got a new album out. His name is Pelo Chino. He be changing his stage name like Prince did all the time. But hey, I'm still Cam, CoachCam, as some of them call me. But this is episode 85. And we are going to talk today not just about resilience and enduring, but not just surviving, but how to be thriving. And yes, I did speak in rhyme just for Dwayne White on that one. I'm having too much fun, but today I have somebody that I love dearly, I admire, I respect, and she, as I've told her before, is a walking embodiment of the word resilience. It's easy to talk that shit. It's easy for me to come up on this show and talk about it, but it's another thing for someone to live it. And my friend here, we call her Buffy, Auntie Buffy around the house, but with my dear friend for almost 20 years now, everybody, put your hands together for the one, the only, Buffy.
Hey, thanks a lot for having me on the podcast.
You are so welcome. I've been knowing cricket for 27, no, just playing. It's a joke from Tom Segura. It's for 48 hours. It's a really good bit. But I've been knowing cricket for 27 years. I've been knowing Buffy for almost 20 years. Mm-hmm. And we've grown up together in a lot of ways. And we're here today together to talk about these things. Remember, the First Amendment will be in full effect, and neither one of us are doctors, so don't try to fucking sue me. You got me? Don't try to do that shit. But hopefully something, I know you'll probably hear some bad words, but I promise you will hear a lot of good words. So without further ado, I'm going to pass the mic over to you. What is resilience to you, and what is your background, sister?
Yeah, thanks for everything, Cam. I'm super honored to be here. Yeah, man, resilience to me. We'll answer that first. You know, I think it's just the grit and determination to not give up. Not only on yourself, but other people, right? There's chances out there and choices I could have made, and we'll get into that later, but I didn't. And it's not only just for me, it's for my family, specifically my kids, my Marines, my family back in Michigan, you know, my closest friends, the warrior community, the people that believe and love me unconditionally. Like, that's resilience. Like, to get up and do the hard things every day, not because you might feel like you don't want to, but because you have to do it.
Yes.
The resilience to continue to push and get comfortable being uncomfortable. And that's everyday life, and that's going to be until they put me in a grave one day. That's resilience.
Yes, to not give up, to endure, and then sometimes to adapt as well.
Absolutely.
To adapt, be water, my friends. It's easy to talk it, but adaptability, being able to adapt is just, you know, what we say in the core, adapt, adjust, and overcome.
Darn right.
You know what I mean? I love your definition of it. And your background, I mean, Marine right here, a warrior. If anybody wants to talk about standards and all this shit, this female Marine, this woman Marine will fuck you up. So fuck you and all of that type of jazz. I'm telling you right now, she whooped my ass right now. So all that standards bullshit, shut the fuck up. You know what's funny is once they started applying standards, you know who couldn't pass? Males. So there's that. I don't know about the other branches, but I know the Marine Corps, our fucking female warriors are strong and just as equal as anyone else. So if you're of that thought nature that we're not, or we're different, or they don't belong in combat, then tell me why she got 2 combat action ribbons, okay? Tell me why she got a Purple Heart. So on and so on and so on. So I just want to say that up front. And because if you're not about that, then you could just tune the fuck out and scroll past and watch another podcast. But I just want to say that up front. Anyways, sorry.
No, you're good.
And if you want to cut that out, I can, but no, I just want to say it.
I'm all about it. Yeah, so from Blanchard, Michigan originally. My whole family is still there. I'm the only one that ever left. Went to college for a year. That didn't really pan out. My focus was on having fun, drinking, underage drinking, and having a blast. Went to the Marine Corps and was only going to do 4 years because, you know, one of my really good friends at the time, Sarah Jensen, joined. And I was like, oh, I can do this. This is great. And she got out and I stayed in. And, you know, I ended up doing, a day shy of 22 years.
22 years, y'all. Sacrificing.
I didn't think, I would. And I had great leaders that just, why don't you just try 4 more? And I remember the first person to say that was retired First Sergeant Troy Bell. He was my gunnery sergeant at the time in Iraq. And he's like, why don't you just reenlist for 4 more? And then I'll put you at 8, and then you make the decision. Yeah. But don't let the Marine Corps decide for you. You go to what you want to do next. Right. Do a special duty assignment. So I was like, oh, well, being a drill instructor is the best thing.
And that was at the first 4 years.
That was the first 4 years. Yeah. Just under 4. And he's like, just try this. And You know, everyone's this whole thing about the drill instructor world and all this crap, and I just can picture my drill instructors to this day. And I'll give a shout out to them.
Hell
my
yeah.
senior drill instructor, Addie Wilkes. My heavy was Tamara Casillas. Then Ryan Chase, my third hat. Now Ryan Hayes, and my fourth hat was Amanda Pelkey. I'll never forget those women. It molded me and shaped me and mentored me to who I am and the resilience I need to carry out in my life. And then there I was, you know, didn't even have a hash mark. I was sitting in the blue chairs at DI school.
Who them blue chairs?
Them blue chairs. Look, Fortec 07. And in completing that special duty assignment sealed the deal for me to say, hey, I'm going to make this a career. It gave me the determination, the grit, the resiliency. I use this analogy loosely, but like imagine a brick wall and someone says go through it and everyone else says I can't do it, but me, my mentality is like I'm gonna go through that motherfucking wall.
Hell yeah.
And that's what being a drill instructor taught me to do. Like you can do anything you put your mind to, and that is exactly what it is. I mean, it's combat is one thing, and I already had 2 deployments under my belt for that, but that is a different beast. Yes, it's a training cycle. Yes, it's a cookie cutter thing, but there is so much grit, discipline, determination that goes through it that I don't think sometimes mentally people can even understand. But I'm so happy. It's probably the second most rewarding thing I ever did in my entire life.
What's the most rewarding?
You know, I would say getting sober. Absolutely getting sober.
Yes.
You know, it'll be 3 years on May 31st.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But actually becoming a mom.
There you go.
And it puts tears in my eyes right now just thinking about it. There's no greater feeling for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love that. Whew, man. Yeah, them blue chairs. And for all who have answered the call to serve, period, thank you. But yeah, it's a different beast. And I'm sure, you know, for recruiters or MSG and everybody, you know, all those special duty assignments and whatever branch you're in, they're special for a reason. But for me, I'm of the thought of you. You were describing that, goodness gracious, drill instructor is demanding in a whole different way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's literally like I have right there. Like it's not for me, it's for them.
Absolutely.
And that's literally what you sacrifice there. And I don't think, you know, I was the best at doing it or whatever, but I know I gave my very best, and I know most do when they go there. So special shout out to anyone who has served. I think the Army calls it the trail and different stuff, but whoever has been in the business of taking a recruit and turning them into and transforming them into said fill in the blank Marine, soldier, whatever it is, special shout out to you. And all branches, like it you know, we all have different standards and we all have different ways of doing it. You can YouTube that.
Absolutely.
You know, like Marine Corps recruit training versus the other ones. But it's, you know, it's all at the end of the day sibling rivalry. But to transform a civilian into a warrior is something special. And no matter what branch, I've never talked to anyone that doesn't remember whoever their people were that made them. She looks distracted right now because I have tortoises that are really attention hogs and they really want to be played with right now. So they're climbing on each other. So you see her just looking off. It's not just our ADHD. It's actually there's something to attend to that wants some attention.
Ain't that the truth?
Clean a Turner over there trying to. She always trying to be cute. She's banging on the glass. But go ahead. Sorry.
No, I just want to tell a story about the drill field, about me and you. And we were drill masters together. He was 1st Battalion Drill Master. I was 4th Battalion Drill Master.
It's first for a reason, just saying.
A job I did not want, but a job that I got. I really just wanted to go to the pool and fuck off and do whatever the pool instructors did, which was
Get
fun.
soft feet. You know what I'm saying?
Right, absolutely. I went through that rigorous course. It's actually the only thing in the Marine Corps that has ever made me cry. But I'm so happy I went
That
through
McQuist
it.
training, right?
McQuist
Oh,
training,
my God.
yes.
Google that, y'all. McQuist
then-
training, Marine Corps. Whew.
Here I was on my 6th straight cycle. Sergeant Major Stephanie Murphy, my battalion sergeant major, says,
A
hey,
legend. A legend.
legend.
Sorry. I didn't even cut it. A legend.
you'd be good at being the drill master. I was like, why? She goes, because you're charismatic and people listening to you and they respect you. And I was like, I'm a boot staff sergeant. I just got promoted. Like, I'm like, this is out of control. And I was like, I don't really want to do that. And she's like, well, you're going to do that. And I was like, oh God. So then I did my 7th straight cycle and then went straight to be the drill master. Long story short, she saw something in me that I didn't see in myself, which was great. And it opened up my eyes. But I remember just being so distraught and so mad. And, I wanted to control everything, as most leaders want to, right? We, have a knack for that and our pride and our egos, and I want to control all of it. And I remember you taking me to your office and you sat me down and you drew on a piece of paper, and I wish I would have saved it. You drew a circle in the middle, And you said the most things that are important to you, like family, your close friends, like, what you can control, you can actually control is in that circle. And then you wrote all the stuff on the outside, and you really looked at me and you said, those are the things you can't control. Like, you can't control that, X platoon or X person doesn't give a shit about drill or name your thing, right? And you just put it into perspective for me, and I'll never forget that moment. I was like, oh man, like, that is so true. And I think that was like late 2009, and I'll never forget that moment of like, okay, control the controllables. And that's where I learned that saying, and just to always focus on controlling things that I can control. I'm not saying I don't spiral sometimes and I'm a control freak, because I am. Thank you, Ann Abbott. That's my mom.
Shout out, mama.
But as far as like my leadership style and what I wanted is I wanted to control it all. I wanted everyone to think that it was the good as I thought it, or whatever the thing is, right? Or do the best that I did, or it's my standard, and it's not. Like, none of it is. So to learn that, and I still say that today, control the controllables. I mean, it's so true and raw and real. So thank you.
Thank you. And there's nothing new under the sun. And, I'm a parrot. I just regurgitate. No real original thought. But I do caveat and anchor down and piggyback off of certain things. And who told me that was Mark Whitehurst, one of my most beloved, closest mentors and friends. He was my gunny when I was a corporal and a sergeant, and he saw me just wigging out, and he told me that. And then I later learned that comes from Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, who was a slave. Look him up if you want to know about resilience. He was literally, his name translates to the acquired one. So his name was property, and he was tortured, and his leg was all jacked up. But he said the chief task in life is discerning and distinguishing between that which we control and that which we don't. And when we let things fill in the blank, the news, the economy, all these things we can't really influence directly, the outcome of an initial drill evaluation or final, or how the graduation goes outside of what you can do for it, we become a slave to those things. And it's addicting, right? But then I learned that CBT 101 is derived from a lot of the Stoic writings from a long time ago. Not Stoic as in being a statue and being all grim. People fuck that up so much. It's not that. Stoic under lowercase and Stoic uppercase are different, okay? But Stoicism is what I'm referring to, not he was so stoic. No. Okay, that it's a messed up definition that we use in modern terms. But Stoicism is just distinguishing between that which you control and that which you don't control, and then reframing how you approach and attack in a different direction, whatever the thing may be. Just think about the news. There's so many people that go to bed every night screaming at the fucking TV about this side or that side or whatever infotainment channel they're watching. And they didn't floss their teeth, and they haven't helped their kid with their homework, and they're fat. You know what I mean? And then they're mad at like something that outside of voting or contributing to a campaign, I mean, unless you want to run for office, there's really not much you can do about it, right? Instead of just going to mad, all flustered, high blood pressure and shit, but like focused on rather, I'm not saying don't be informed, but that's just my example, on what you can control. Like what you described, being a mother. And how that was the greatest accomplishment, and you being sober. Don't think I wasn't going to circle back, y'all, okay? I wasn't saying drill instructor is more important than any of those things. I started there, and now we're coming back. See, that's full circle. But yeah, Stoicism, Epictetus, Mark Whitehurst, that's who told me it, and then I shared it with you, and then I see how it applies, definitely to sobriety.
Absolutely.
We both share in that. Keeping the alcohol out of our mouth, shout out Kevin O'Hara, I love you. S, I love y'all, but you got the cup right now. We got the coffee cup right now. Shout out habitsv2.org right there. Keep the alcohol out your mouth. And he's Irish, so he says like mouth, like with F's and shit, like I'd say math. But no, it really is. It's a game changer for how we approach life.
Yeah. What
can we control and what can't we control? And the things that control us that we're concerned about, we eventually become slaves to those things because we have no control over them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a rant, but
no, it's good. I think another thing I want to talk about too is it's called disclosure. Right. And it's really what it is venting, right? Like telling someone, getting something off your chest that you've been harboring forever. And I remember the first time, there's three things, different periods in my life. The first one was coming out to my family that I was gay, specifically my mom and my dad, and it was, all my other friends knew and all that crap, blah, blah, blah. But like not a thing at home. Mom and dad didn't support it. I'm pretty sure dad didn't talk to me for 9 months. Mom didn't talk to me for 3. Like, I feel like sometimes still to this day, I know they love the crap out of me, but they still feel some type of way about it. It is what it is, right? Whatever. And it's just a whole road of a different view because of how they were raised. And that's okay, right? Generational things, right? So there's one thing about disclosure. And then I was 28 years old when that happened, and
When you came
when
out
I
to
came
them?
out, you're right. And and I'll go on to say this, and then you go through your whole career of I tried my hardest to be the overachiever, the one that did the best, all the things that you could think of, and I'd volunteer for everything at every rank and every duty and every weekend duty, and it became a thing of almost like using abusing me as saying, just give it to Abbott, Abbott will do it. Call Abbott, Abbott will do it. It's a weekend, call Abbott, Abbott will do it. And the answer is, I will always call to the answer. The answer for me will be, yes, I will do it.
Yes.
Pick me, I will do it, right?
Same.
At the cost of my family, of my health, of my bullshit that I didn't know that I was coping with at the time, and I would suppress it with alcohol, and I've been doing that since I was 14 years old.
That's right.
And it just compiled, right? So then let's fast forward, and I'll do the fast version of the tail end of my career. I think, and I know the highlight of my entire career was being a First Sergeant, Victor 2-6, Weapons Company First Sergeant. To the men in that company, to the one female we had, and I was the other one, I fucking love and respect you. You changed my entire life and way that I do things to this day.
I love y'all for loving her.
For real. Man. And I wanted to retire right after that, and it's not something I actually come out and speak about, and a lot of people don't know this. I wanted to retire. I was about to submit my retirement on my last deployment with the 2-2 MEO. My Sergeant Major at the time had a long talk with me. He's like, why don't you just try and get one look at Sergeant Major and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no. And for all the wrong reasons, wanting to get out and wanting to stay in, all the wrong reasons on both, I did it, whatever, got selected to Sergeant Major on the next look. For all the wrong reasons, got frocked, I believe, was still a heavy drinker, had went through a divorce that was a mess. And if I could go back and try and fix that, I would in a heartbeat. Because of the way we split and because of the way I acted. And we had 2 kids that were involved in all of it. And it's still, still very, messy to this day, but it's workable and we're doing great.
God, I had to stop. So many people don't do what you just did, where you acknowledge your fault and said, I wish I could have done better in that situation. That's just so big because, I'll just say, I come from a family of many of broken marriages and different things, and it's this blame game back and forth. You didn't do that just now. You know what I mean? Like, it takes 2 to tango, it takes 2 to mess something up, but you just took all of that on and didn't say anything negative about your partner in that situation. And I just want to salute anybody that does that, especially when there's kids involved. That is noble, that is strong, that is something to respect, that you just owned it and said, if I could, I would have done better, And
I think I know that now, and I think a couple of years after the fact that hit me hard, but in it I wasn't. I was a mess, right? And I got into a relationship really fast right after it. So did she. Probably one of the dumbest things I ever could have done because I needed to just figure out who I was. So let's fast forward. So now I'm in another relationship. I have 2 kids. I get stationed up here in Virginia because that's where my kids are, here in Quantico because that's where my ex-wife works. I think everything's gravy. Honestly, I was miserable at work. It was cookie cutter schedule. It was not a real, organic. I'm a battalion sergeant major with first sergeants, with companies, and the dream that a first sergeant wants. But it's okay because it's service, it's sacrifice. And I'm up here for my kids, really.
Training commands are definitely different,
right? And
I'm
going to try and do the best that I can do, and who I am. But I was still drinking. I was still suppressing. My marriage at the time was a dumpster fire. I think, we trauma bonded, and it was the first girl I ever liked when I was 14. An amazing person, taught me a lot. What she really taught me was empathy. I don't regret it at all. So let's just fast forward. So, January, I think 30th, I checked in. May 31st, I drank and I drove home. And I had an accident, and I ended up injuring 2 14-year-old kids. And that changed my life forever. Thank God those kids are okay. They're 17 years old, and they're crushing life right now. But the scars that I left on them, on their bodies, on the outside and on the inside, they will live with forever. And if I could take that back in a heartbeat, I would. But I sit here and say this with my whole heart that I don't think I would be sober right now had that not have happened, right? And that's the truth. That is the truth, and it hurts so much. So after the accident, a lot of stuff happened. It is what it is. And I go to this place called Laurel Ridge Treatment Center for veterans and first responders. And I was there for about 30 days, and it wasn't just for alcohol. I mean, to be honest, we had a couple substance abuse classes, and we did some AA at night, but what benefited me was talking to my therapist, and shout out to Tammy. You know who you are.
Love you, Tammy.
We still talk to this day. That's the first person I was ever open and honest with my entire life.
About everything.
Everything. Combat, what I saw, what I did, how I felt coming out when I was gay. I mean, everything you can think of is the first time I've ever been honest in my entire life. How much I drank. I mean, everything. And I'm like, oh my gosh, does this feel good to get off my chest? I mean, scary. I was shaking. I was crying. And then her assignment was write it all down. Write down all 3 combat deployments, write down your accident, and that's called prolonged exposure therapy. You're gonna say it out loud, we're gonna record it, you're gonna listen to it, and it's rinse repeat for 30 days. And I'm like, oh my God, right? I'd never felt so crazy yet so good in my entire life, right? So then I get back and I sort of start this life of like, what does, me being me, and now.
Because how long was it? How long were you?
About 30 days
30
down
days.
in Texas. And then I go back, I got to put a uniform on, I got to go to work because I moved now. They took my Sergeant Major chevrons off, rightfully so. First Sergeant chevrons, I get stashed away somewhere. And I'm just trying to do the best I can for the Marines and for the people I'm there and still show up, and I'm not going to drop my pack.
Yeah.
What I was really struggling with, though, when I came back from Texas is I really wanted to kill myself, right? I wanted to kill myself right after the accident, and had my ex-wife, my second ex-wife at the time, not have picked me up from jail, I had a plan to go home and kill myself that day. So thank God for her.
Shout out to empathy and to her.
Damn right. And after Texas, I like about 7 months, and to the point where I couldn't even be in my house alone. I would go in, I would set my stuff down after work, and I'd just drink some water, put on my shoes, and I'd go out walking for, 10, 12 miles at a time.
That's summer 2023.
Summer of 2023.
Yeah.
I mean, rough, dark period of my life. But the people that were there for me, that texted me, that called me, that checked on me, that would just show up randomly at my house, like, you know who you are. And I wouldn't be here today had you not have done that. And I appreciate all of you. And I'm not going to name you all right now. You know who you are. And I love you.
Much love to y'all. Thank you.
Absolutely. And my kids kept me alive every day.
Of course.
Huge. In my family, of course, So fast forward that, like, what do you do with your life now? Well, the Marine Corps is going to do whatever the Marine Corps do. I'm going to get held out and accountable, like, to whatever the Stafford's going to do. And that's what they did. Okay, cool. I don't need to go down that road because it's on other podcasts that I've talked about. But that's where the real, grit and determination and resiliency kicked in.
Yeah.
It was like, okay. And you say it all the time. How do you turn a mess into a message? Well, like, what do I do? I'm going to start being open and honest on these live feeds of AA.org and come out clean of like everything.
Yeah.
My lawyer was so mad at me. You can't do that. I'm like, why not?
Yeah.
Like, I know who I am. I know what I said on 911. It's the same thing I just said to these people in AA. So why does it matter?
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to the judge. I'm not going to lie to anyone. Nothing. I'm done lying. I'm done hiding shit. I'm done drinking. I'm done doing it all.
Yeah.
So that was it, right? And I think that was a huge transitional period in my life. And then I heard about this program called Boulder Crest Warrior Path. And I was like...
Boulder Crest Warrior Path.
I was thinking, man, it's another... Go ahead.
No, I want to ask, though, just so we shout them out, because if anybody wants to know more of the story of what you explained with the tragedy of May 31st, number one, I know she wasn't fucked up, y'all. She wasn't, like, drunk out of her mind driving, okay? But it might as well have been. My point in saying that is the only difference between Buffy and me and so many others is Buffy got caught. So somebody right now is doing that to this day, right now, is having a few, driving like you always do, and then something of that nature happens, and she describes it all in detail, so I don't want to pull that all up right now, but you can visit... What are the 2 podcasts? I know 2 specifically where you shared. Yeah, there's a few of them, but I want to shout them out because
Unarmored podcast.
Unarmored, yes, God, oh my God.
Mario Fields.
Major Mario, man, a legend. Listen to those episodes. I'll plug it. You'll see the little things pop up right here when I edit this, but just so you can hear the full story of that and the full background of everything. But I do want to stop right there and pause and say she wasn't fucked up. Like, how they have the signs on the highway, buzz driving is drunk driving. Well, shit gets real fast. So if you are playing with fire out there, or you are doing that stuff still, I'm just, look, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's too easy in this day and age with the technologies we have of Uber, of so many things. People would rather give you a ride than for you to have to go through what she went through. And then the worst situation of it is that 2 innocent kids were hurt. And that, you know what I mean? So I just wanted to plug that real quick, because there's friends of mine, there's friends of yours, there's people we love that are still having a few, and they're just being like, I'm going to go back home. It's cool. And it's all good until it's not. And shit gets real fucking quick. 0 to 100 real quick, you know? So just wanted to plug that and those podcasts as well. So, but God, man, like, to own that as much as you did and then voluntarily express the truth when, you know, I know how defense works, I know how law works. It's like, you're not going to lie, but you're not going to tell a full, whole truth and all that kind of stuff. And you just came out with all of it. That's just fucking owning it, man. And I still big salute to you. And one of the words that jumped out at me the most was when you talked about unconditional love. Mm-hmm. You know, it's real easy to love someone, you know, when you're on the high notes. And we've been there. Yeah. You've had the highest of highs in service, in life, being a mother, just the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, as you described here. And there's other things as well. But it's like Dr. King said, and back in the day, they used to say man as in referring to humans. But when he said the ultimate measure of a man is not where they stand at moments of comfort or convenience, but where they stand at times of challenge and controversy.
Absolutely. And
you have showed your worth. But it's not just applicable to an individual human, woman, or man, but it's also applicable to the relationships we have. The unconditional love. Mm-hmm. And I've been unconditionally loved by very few people in my life. And, you know, a lot of times is, what have you done for me lately? Shout out Janet Jackson, I love you. And then, you know, this, like, what was your last, you know, what was the last quarter? What was your last fit rep? What was your last? And you're all good and you're hero, but I have, and many times in my Marine Corps career, went from hero to zero.
Absolutely.
And then you really find out who really gives a fuck about you.
Yeah.
So I just had to anchor on that for a second and say, God, Lord, unconditional love. New edition, can you stand the rain type of love is just a beautiful thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but it's an ugly thing when you see the conditional.
That's true. That's true. I mean, circling back though, like, you know, and it was 6.5 drinks. And you know what's funny is, no, you're fine. It was, my tolerance for alcohol was super high and my BAC was high. And I was really good at being a functional alcoholic.
Oh yeah.
You know, straight up off work. I never drank at work or on the job or anything like that. I think honestly, when I was younger, I did a couple times. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, I was just coping with so much crap, and it's just so stupid and so selfish in all the ways. You know, so I started this off with disclosure, right? So I named the two, coming out and then going to Texas. The third one was I applied to this place called Boulder Crest Warrior Path. Yes. Right. And there's like 3 big locations. The main mothership, we call it, is in Bluemont, Virginia. Mm-hmm. And my leader at the time, and now dear friend and sister, she is Lieutenant Colonel Mary Blair. Absolutely love her to death, and I'm glad she is in my life because of her, I went to this program. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's my class was eight women. It was a 7-day course. It was the most life-changing, amazing thing I've ever done. And it was, all it is disclosure. And it's, you know, anything from childhood to military, to my accident, to the deployments, to, you know, relationship stuff, to childhood trauma, to you name your thing. And it teaches you this path to go down. Everything ties to post-traumatic growth, you know, and it's not PTSD. Like I don't like that version of it.
We all know about disorders.
Right. Mm-hmm. Post-traumatic growth is so much better, in my opinion. And it comes full circle, right? So I went there in November of 2024. Yeah. And now I stand here, still sober, almost a year out from retirement. Wow. I've never had so much peace in my entire life, nor have I ever loved myself so much in my entire life. And I work for Boulder Crest now as a path guide. Oh, my goodness, man. Shout out Boulder Crest and all of the good they do. I'm definitely going to be plugging them in the show notes so you can learn more about that. But thank you so much, because, you said how suicidal you were. Mm-hmm. But, Craig Bryan, I said on my last episode, to do suicide prevention well, we need to do more than just stop people from dying. We need to give them and help them live a life worth living. Absolutely. And through Boulder Crest. And obviously, some people get it messed up. Well, you have kids.
sometimes you feel like you're doing them a favor. All right, I've been there. All right, so it's not just, it has to be something for you, not just connected to your family. And if that keeps somebody around, by all means, thank God. But when you're in that really cloudy thinking, something like a Boulder Crest, and then being a part of it,
Right,
can make such a difference. And the fact that now you are literally a part of it,
absolutely,
and you're path guide.
I'm a path guide. Yep.
Yeah, that is just shout out Boulder Crest. Y'all are doing amazing things.
Yeah.
And so many veterans are eligible to go there and active duty, correct?
Everyone. So all veterans, all active duty, all reservists, and all first responders.
Yes.
Please spread the word, because I'm telling you, and it's no cost to anyone, no cost to the individual. Travel's paid for. I mean, you name it, 5-star treatment, and it's only 5 days in seat.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wish this was a thing that was mandatory for all ages, all ranks, all first responders. It should be mandatory before you get out. It should be a thing. I got more out of those 7 days than I did going through 2 sessions of executive TRS for the military.
Yeah.
Mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
So that's the third thing of disclosure, of me working through my disclosure and my stuff, right? And here I am now on the other side of it, truly walking my path of what I was put on this earth to do. And my purpose on this earth is to be a warrior and give back to the warrior community of all human beings, and just to serve, right?
Yeah.
And it's not, they're like, oh, it's therapists there, it's doctors, it's clinical, licensed people. It's not. It's no one has a few of us have a bachelor's degree, 1 or 2 have a master's degree, and no one is, licensed in anything. It's warriors teaching warriors.
Yeah.
And that says something in itself, right?
But obviously, if you have and you need a higher echelon of care while you're there, you'll get it,
Absolutely.
you'll receive it, but don't hear it wrong. But I think what you're describing and how I receive it is the most effective thing. And shout out to all the doctors, everybody in mental health care. Thank you so much for what you do. But when you're relatable.
Yes.
And that's not to say they're not on any means, because everybody has a yesterday, but it's something different. I know, especially with Marines, but I'm sure all service members, when one of your own is telling you their mess and then using it and making it a message.
Yeah, absolutely.
It just reminds me, and I know I say these things ad nauseum, but I have to remind myself, what is to give light must endure burning.
Damn
so
right.
for you to be the light that you are, there had to be some burning along the way. And that's not to be a masochist or go seeking out burning, y'all. Life will life, and but you're a light.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't shine so bright if you hadn't have endured that burning, whether it was self-inflicted or conditionally inflicted or whatever, it doesn't matter. You endured it, and now you're not just, sulking in it and dwelling and ruminating on it and going internal. You're going external.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's healing in that. There is a too soon. There is a too soon to everything, of course.
Yep.
But there's also a time when you take your pain and you turn it into purpose.
Yeah.
And I opened up with saying how much I admire and respect and love you. And for you to be doing that and putting yourself out there, being vulnerable and taking the risks of, and I've had it happen to me. I've had it happen to me, man, where people take your vulnerability and what you use as a message to help others, and they weaponize it against you.
Absolutely.
And that could potentially have already happened or will happen to you, but you're still willing to open up, to be there for others. And that's bearing a cross, that's sacrifice, that's it's not about me, it's for them type thing.
Absolutely.
And it's not about me, it's about we, the people. Just salute to you.
Yeah.
And again, first responders too, because goodness gracious, we sometimes have to deploy to get PTSD and things of that nature. But I mean, police, firefighters, teachers, people in any of the service, people-oriented things, you get PTSD on a Wednesday. But it's not just about the D and disorder. There's also PTG. Look it up. PTG, post-traumatic growth.
Absolutely. Yeah, huge. And at the end of the day, Cam, it's just about being better than I was yesterday, right?
Yeah.
I just want to be better than I was yesterday, right? And something I wanted to share publicly and with you is something I was talking to you about yesterday. So I keep having these. This is sort of morbid. For quite a few years now, I've been having these dreams. Dreams when I'm sleeping, regular dreams, and then daydreams. And it's me walking into a house. Now, it starts off of like, I haven't heard from a friend or a family member in a while. Most of them are friends, and most of them are veterans. Haven't heard from them in a while. Oh, I'm just going to go check on them. And they could be states away, but I'm just going to go check on them. And I show up at their door and show up at their house, and they got a gun in their mouth or a gun in their head. And I walk in, and I look at them, and I say, today's not your day. I said, you're worth it, and we're not going to do this right now. And I take the gun, and I put the gun in my mouth or my head, and I stand there. And the person on the other end, my friend, is stoic and says, what are you doing? Today's not your day. It's never been your day. And then my dream stops. And I keep having them over and over and over. And why?
With
different people.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a sign of, goodness of like, hey, you don't have to take on that burden today. I'm going to take it. That's why I put the gun in my mouth or at my head. And then they flip it and say, well, today's not my day either. And then does that continually repeat? Like, I don't know what the message is here that someone's trying to send me, but it is almost like disturbing, but almost motivational in the same sense of continue to do my job and be better than I was yesterday. Not only for myself, and I have to put me first and my sobriety and my kids and my family, period. But my goal and purpose in life is to serve others. But I have to do that with boundaries, and I have to do that respectfully.
Oh my God,
and I have to do that passionately. But I have to learn how to love accountability with myself and love accountability with other people, if that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense. And I think one of the most important things you said was the boundaries. I am horrible at that. I'm a people pleaser to the fullest, and I want to help. And what happens is sometimes we can burn out, and there's people that take advantage.
Absolutely.
And that people don't respect boundaries, and you have to set those boundaries so that you can show up for them when it's the right time, I think there's something so powerful with that dream you're having, because to me it's pure empathy. Like, sympathy is, I'm here for you. I feel pity is, I feel so sorry for you. But empathy is, I'm with you. Yep. And there's nothing like being with them than the actions you just described in that dream. Yep. Like, you're literally with them. And not just saying it, but displaying it, and then there'd be with you. I'm not a dream. I'll probably ask ChatGPT what the whole meaning is. But there's something there, and it's not pity, and it's not sympathy, and it's not, oh my God, tackle him no, I'm with you in this, brother, sister, and that's what we need more of, is genuine empathy. That's powerful.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd love to know the more behind it, but to have that reoccurring dream, there's something there to unpack.
There is definitely.
But I think empathy is at the base of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Something else I wanted to share with you and whoever's watching this is, he was my path guide going through Warrior Path, Boulder Crest. His name's Steve Mason, and I'll give him a shout out right now. We were just on, in May, I went up and did my first program. I didn't realize how much I still had to process listening to those men share their stories. Like, wow, powerful, right? He's teaching, he's up there, he's teaching. I'm observing in the back, right? And I'm going to say it like this, and I'm going to say my version of it, of what I heard. I'm the only one that ever left home, and I came out to my family that I was gay when I was 28, and I've had 3 combat deployments and 2 other deployments, and I've moved 47 times, and I'm only 42 years old, and I had 2 traumatic brain injuries from 2 IEDs, and I've seen more dead bodies than I can count, probably friends, on both my hands and both my toes, and I've picked dead body parts off vehicles, and I've watched some people take their last breaths, and I've had a couple really good loves in my life and lost those loves off stupid decisions and selfish acts, and 2 marriages. And I have 2 amazing kids, and they know exactly who I am and what I've done, and that might scar them for the rest of their life. And I have PTSD or post-traumatic growth, and I have a place where I live now, and I don't know if I'm going to be there for the next year or 2 years. And I have guilt and shame. It's hard for me to do this and not cry. I have guilt and shame that I have been gone for over 22 years now, and I'm the only one that left home, and everyone that is close right there by my mom and dad gets my mom and dad every day, and I don't, because I'm here, right? And I know I can go back home whenever I can afford it, and I try now once a month, and I try to be the best version of me that I can be every day. And at the end of all of it, instead of saying but or the word or and make an excuse, you say and. I stand here and I sit here and I say to everyone that is viewing, I've dealt with suicide, I've dealt with depression, I've dealt with all the crap, and I'm still here and I'm still proud.
God.
Period.
I fucking love you, man.
I love you too.
Man. I heard that, man. Goodness gracious. Thank you. Thank you.
And I want people to understand, too, that I'm no different than anyone else. I don't care if you've served, you've not served, you've been to combat, you've not been to combat, you're a first responder. I don't care what you've done. If you've sat at home for your whole life, did nothing but play video games. We all feel the same crap in a sense,
Yeah.
the white noise and all the crap that can affect us. But if we have some perspective, if we can control our mind and understand that it's all about mindset, and we can have some resilience and some hope in all things and see the silver lining in all things, then I think, we can hope for a better day, and we can wake up and just have gratitude that we woke up and continue to live our lives for whatever that is that means for that individual, right? Like, I'm no better, no worse than anyone else. It is what it is. We all have a life. We all have a past. There's probably stuff that I'm going to endure in my life that's going to be way worse than what I've already been through.
Yeah.
But guess what? I have the tools and means necessary now, and my tribe and my 3 to 5 and my people and the stuff that I've worked on to help assist me to go through whatever that is that, the good man upstairs is going to put in front of me. So
Yeah.
I am still proud. I am still here.
Yes.
And I'm not giving up.
I'd hug you if I could reach.
I know. I love you, dude.
I love you. You are enough. You are enough. And to, to especially the subject of suicide, I respect everyone's backgrounds and outlooks on things, but in my belief, and what I've seen to be true, is that if whatever higher power doesn't want us to be around or needs us somewhere else, they'll make sure we're not here anymore. We don't have to play God or play universe or what, fill in the blank, okay? I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm just saying that there's things that we can't even fathom. I look at it like our animals sometimes, our dogs, right? Like, they know us, they love us, they know when we're sad, they know when we're happy, all that kind of stuff. And we can vent to them, and we can pet them, and I got these tortoises over here. They're talking a whole lot right now with their actions, but they will never understand the certain things that come out of our mouths, the things that we deal with. They just know the feelings, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's us, not to dismiss anyone's intelligence, but I feel like whatever that higher is, to me, I say God, somebody else can say whatever, universe, whatever. It's like on that level of what a human is to an animal. We can only understand each other so much in the depth of intelligence. I mean, who knows? Maybe the dogs and the tortoises are more intelligent than us. I don't want to go there, but I know whales got like 5 brains. I don't fucking know. Okay. But what I'm saying is, I don't think we can fathom or even truly understand on that level, in what we are right now, and we'll see what comes to be and whatever comes after. But my point there is, whatever that is, if it doesn't want you around, it will make sure of it, so we don't really have to do that ourselves. But when we're in that thick of it, we don't see that. We don't see that. We don't want to see that. We literally, I've been there. You feel like you're doing people a favor. They'll be better off without you. And I think the battle is, obviously we have assist training, and we have, ask care, escort, all that. It's beautiful. It's great. That's at the point of friction. But what you've been describing to me today is, how do we stay left of the bang, of that friction moment where bad decisions feel like good decisions? And I'm just saying to everyone out there, like, before you get to where, and I've been there, so I'm not judging you, where a bad decision feels like a good decision. I mean, whether it's suicide or murder-suicide or any permanent circumstance or permanent outcome, how can we stay left of things? And it could be them going to Boulder Crest. It could be them reaching out to friends and finding a better tribe. It could be faith. It could be, with all this ChatGPT and AI, I know it gets a bad rap, but you could literally put in your zip code and find out ways to volunteer around you, because the door to happiness always opens outwards.
Absolutely.
And serving others, there's something powerful in it. There's something therapeutic, cathartic, whatever the thing may be. If you've done it, you know it. And some of us are missing it when we leave. When we leave, especially service of active duty type, it immerses so much into your soul. So how was that, being without something to pour into for a while for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was very shocking. It was very hard. I think for me, I had to learn how to rewire who I was as a person. Like, okay, I'm not just a rank and a last name. I'm actually just me. I'm Beth Abbott. And I had to learn and teach myself that I am enough, and that is enough. And I can still very much so serve outside of the Marine Corps without a uniform on. And I can do it with all the stuff that all the mistakes I still make mistakes, all the mistakes I've made and all the bad stuff I've done and all the all the bullshit, all the drinking and all the crap and all the parties and all the wasted leave in Michigan, just drinking and getting drunk and just nonsense and money spent. I can still serve and be a good person now, completely sober, and choosing me for the very first time and jumping off that crazy fucking merry-go-round, right? And choosing me, putting me first, self-care, self-love, and my kids. I can still serve every single individual that I come in contact with. That might be a bum off the street. That might be a neighbor. That might be someone I come in contact with when I'm out walking. And I'm a talker, so I'm going to start a conversation. And you're either going to like it or you're not, but that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, maybe something I said sparked something in your head about anything, and that's fine. Or vice versa. You know, it's transformable. It's like, it's a huge thing of like learn to listen and learn to listen. Or learn to listen and listen to learn, right? It's huge. Learn to listen and listen to learn. And I love that.
God, I need that
saying. And I need it too. But I very much so fall in that category of view of codependency, of people pleasing, of wanting to solve and fix everyone else's need and problem. And I see something, so I'm just going to go fix it. Well, they didn't ask for help. Maybe they just need someone to sit beside them and listen. Maybe they don't need you to talk at all. Maybe they just need a hug, you know, and like read a room. Most times things are settled just by silence and a hug or just, you know, an ear to listen.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's very powerful. But like, I think for me, the way I continue my connection is to serve other people. And it might just be sending someone a quote one day, or, you know, sending my 3 to 5 something, or someone reaching out to me, or putting something on social media. A huge thing now is just working for Boulder Crest. And I only do it 1 week out of the month. Yeah. Right. You know, or my babysitting gig that I do, you know, 2 days a week. It brings me purpose. It's service. Yeah. You know, going to church, it's service. It's something, but it's for me too, so I get something out of it as well. Like selfishly, it sounds weird, but it's the truth.
No, it does.
You know, and it fills my soul and keeps my light lit, right? It keeps my flame lit, so I can continue to do good and hopefully, pray to God, I make a difference in at least one person's life a day. And if I did that, then I did my job. Period. Yeah. That's what it's about.
It really is. No, it is. It is. And to anyone listening, like, we're not like trying to start prohibition again, okay? We all know that Americans, especially, but any human being will do what they want to do. We're just saying for us, like, life is a little bit better and we're showing up as a better person and getting off that merry-go-round. Kevin describes it as the drink, drunk, recover, right? That cycle. Teach their own is what I'm saying. For me, it's best for me to do what that cup says, is keep the alcohol out of my mouth. That's for me. And I've been... You know, you're about to hit 3 years, right? And I hit 7 this over this Memorial Day weekend. So I'm not counting the days. I'm making the days count, but it's well over 2,300. I don't know, but whatever the fuck that is. Times fucking 365 by 7. But I'm not perfect. Oh, hell no. Nor is she. Me either. But staying around is worth it. And a message I try to emphasize on this show is that you never know who or what is coming down the road of life. You know, and when you were in the thick of it on May 31st, you had no idea the people's lives you would touch at Boulder Crest, you know, not even 3 years later, or in the process, all the lives you touched. And I'm just thankful for all those you have, and you will, that you did stay around, because they wouldn't have received your light. And it's meant for you to be around. And I just think there's something powerful in service. And I've been reading this book called Mattering. I forgot the author's name, forgive me, but it's a new book. But it's really good. And she talks about that when we serve others, we still have to have self-care. We still have to have boundaries. We can't pour everything out, but we look at our cup as though it's a finite source. We don't realize how much it's not so linear when you pour out into others, how much that fills your cup. It's more abundant. Like the cup almost grows in its capacity of what your bandwidth is. Now, again, don't hear that the wrong way, because I've been there where I've poured everything out and then I have nothing left for me, or worse, for my family, who I am accountable to. So there's definitely boundaries, and there's limits, and this B word my wife always tells me I don't fucking understand, balance, right? I'm trying to figure that shit out still. However, what you give, you receive in so much abundance. And you know what? It may not be your thing to say, I want to be in the military. Or maybe you're not medically qualified and you're so bent on being in service in the armed forces that I can't serve. Bullshit. you can serve in so many other freaking ways. There's so many links in the chain of just any service type organization. Even if you did like admin functions at a police department or a fire department, like you're serving that, so you make sure that those warriors get their pay on time. Like that's still connected. So don't just throw the baby out with the bathwater, because I know a lot of people that are so hell-bent on military service, and that is a form of service. But dude, walking people's dogs that are elderly, right? Like going and helping the neighbor fix something so she doesn't have to call, or he doesn't have to call some other service. Like that's service. Pull out your neighbor's trash cans that, you know, they have, you know, certain ailments or whatever. And there's organizations and groups all around you where you can volunteer, do a background check, volunteer your time, coach youth sports. I'm not an athlete. Well, Google it, okay? But I say that because there's so much resources out there right now of ways to find ways to give.
Absolutely.
Formal ways that you can find ways to, even if you're just like, you don't have to be full-blown church mode, but couldn't you help old people park their cars at the church on Sundays? Be part of the parking ministry, or, you know what I mean? There's just, you can Google it, put in your zip code and ChatGPT and just say ways to volunteer in my area, and you'll be surprised how many options pop up, and you sift through those and you try different things out. But in the end, you're a hope dealer. You are a hope dealer, and you're dealing hope, and you're helping others. And I'm telling you, it's like a drug. Like you get that return on your investment of your time, but it's like tenfold what you gave. And it can be. And sometimes you plant seeds for trees that provide shade that you'll never sit in. But that's the beauty of service. And it's not about you, it's about them. And you get so much in it, because there's so many people that well, you can't pour from an empty cup. No, you can't. But when I pour a shot out, I get like a fifth back. You know what I'm saying? But again, there is boundaries and there's balance and all those other things too. And there's the things to contend with codependency and knowing yourself. And yes, do all those things. Put on your mask first, of course. But don't be so selfish that you do so much self-care and self-work, you become just cut off from the world and you go internal. We say it all the time in the Marine Corps, don't go internal, right? Don't go internal. And it's dark in there. So the door to happiness opens outwards.
Absolutely.
So I just want to emphasize that. And you're doing that now, even after a life of service in the Marine Corps, which amazing. I said in the beginning, we might have to cut it out. We'll talk about it, but I got a little real there. But you'd sacrifice so much. I mean, she's not a bragger, but Purple Heart recipient, Combat Action Ribbon on Combat Action Ribbon deployments. I mean, Operation Fin of Fury, you've done so much, not to mention making Marines and being a drill master and all of the things. I think we get addicted to that service, and then when we leave, we're no longer ranked name or service member. I think for most of us, I can't say for all, but for the friends of mine who have just gotten out and went fishing, they're no longer here. Not within 5 years, whether it's sometimes it's an illness or it's suicide, or some are zombies where they're either high or drunk all day. And I think that you can find a life afterwards, and I do think it's going to be in service, but it may not be in I'm going to be a cop or a state trooper or a firefighter. No, it doesn't have to be all of that. It could just be I'm a path guide at Boulder Crest. I fucking walk other people's dogs. I babysit at a lower rate for somebody that needs some help. You know, I know I'm beating a dead horse here, but it needs to be reiterated, because some of us, we hit a wall and we're like, I can't be in the military, I can't be a cop, I can't be so I just can't. No, bullshit. Don't do that shit. Don't do that shit.
Yeah, I love that you said I can't. So it's funny, we have this thing, me and my kids, they're not allowed to say, and myself, we're not allowed to say I can't, I won't, or I don't. We're not allowed to say that.
Yeah.
We switch it and say other words, but it gives us a different perspective and my kids a different perspective to say, man, maybe I can't, maybe now's not the time for me to do this right now, but if I work to it and I get stronger, I will be able to do that. I will be able to own that. I will blah, blah, blah. So like, you know, mind games on not just them, but on me as well. Right. And I don't want, for anyone listening, not just my kids and for myself, like, we can do anything we set our minds to. And literally the only person that's stopping you is you, right? And I think if we all can get to a point, and I remember the day it happened, it was a few years ago, you get to a point where you can look yourself in the mirror and you can say, I love you. That is the most freeing feeling and most pure thing I've ever felt, probably in almost my entire life, aside from having kids. my God, what a magical moment. But now every day I look in the mirror and I say, I love you. And like good old Mel Robbins, I high five myself.
I love you, Mel.
I love you too,
God,
Mel.
and somebody those
Lord.
Michiganders.
Yeah. She's
Mel
the
Robbins.
best.
If you don't know her, you need to get to know Mel.
Darn right. Yeah, I high five myself and I say I love you, and I mean it. You know, and I have my motivational stuff on the side of my mirror that I say every day and I recite. Sometimes I read it 3 or 4 times a day. And it matters to me. Like wellness practices matter to me. And I do it every single day. I don't skip a beat. I don't care where I am. I do it.
Yes.
You know, and it keeps me grounded, keeps me alive, keeps me going, keeps me thriving to know that I'm doing good in this world and serving other people.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely, sometimes that's the daily practice. You know, what do they say? Like seconds make hours, hours make days, days make up the story of our life. It's those minute by minute actions, and to each their own. A lot of people say I'm corny and, you know, all that stuff with the quotes and all that, but these are the things that keep me on track.
Absolutely.
And I've learned definitely through not having alcohol in my mouth. And then I didn't just stop one time. I stopped a few different times for months on end, or for sometimes over a year. And then I don't say relapse, but this is what I'm referring to traditionally, but setbacks. And it's just the same old shit again. But now I've accepted that some things just aren't for me, and that's my kryptonite and will hold me back in life. And the best kind of hustle is when you play yourself and you think you got a good deal. So that's what alcohol is for me. But the big thing I'm trying to get to is no matter how far or how long we go down the road of making good decisions, the ditch is always right there. So complacency fucking kills. So you have to continue to maintain. I mean, I said it for years while I was in the Corps. We are great at the transformation. We suck at sustaining the transformation or enhancing the transformation. We're really good at the 13 weeks and making a Marine, but then what? You know, it's very subjective to where they end up, the training pipeline, the fleet unit they go to. We have to sustain. And for you to have these transformative moments of, you know, going through the treatments or reflections, if we don't sustain that, we will succumb to what, you know, is probably that ditch for most of us. So you have to, day by day, play by play, brick by brick. There's a reason for these bricks right here. You know, that's why I have such a fascination with bricks, because it's those little bricks that add up to build the wall of our life. And complacency will be, oh my God, it's a devil.
Absolutely.
I got this, so I'm good now. Bullshit. You have to maintain. That's why I'm motivated, dedicated, medicated. You know, and that's okay. That's what is keeping me on that road and path. And where I got that was from Dr. Anna Lemke. Her and Andrew Huberman talked about that on their podcast, and it just stuck with me so fucking much that you have to continue to make the good decisions.
Absolutely.
And fuel yourself.
Yeah.
But that looks different for everyone. Some people don't need that. I do. I need to positively cleanse and clean, brainwash myself to stay on the right path. Not in some drink the Kool-Aid type shit, but literally like wash your brain. I got that from Twig. I was like, damn, that's a total reframe on the expression of brainwashing.
Twig.
Goodness gracious. Hey, A Leader Provides, Ernest R. Twig. Look that book up if you want to read something from a warrior. I mean, God, just wow, what a warrior. But he says that, like, brainwashing gets a bad rap. And you're like, what are you saying? And he breaks it down to where you're cleaning. You're cleaning your thoughts. You're reframing, your CBT, and you're all of the things. And you're actually not just knowing it, applying it.
Absolutely. Doing it and showing it, rinse and repeat. Yeah, no, it's huge. I think another thing too, it's something that sparked my interest when you were talking was judgment, right? We're so worried about like what other people think of us or how they're going to judge us or how they're going to view us and all this crap. Go down the rabbit hole of all the platforms out there, social media, your family, your friends.
Hi, haters.
All the crap. What I realized going through all my stuff and then looking back to who I was then and who I am now is like the only person that's judging you is the person looking back at you in the mirror. Like, and that's the only opinion that matters.
It is.
And if you can understand that, man, that's freeing in itself. And another thing I'll say is like, and I got it tattooed on my arm. It says me versus me. And that's huge. I absolutely love that saying. I've loved it for many reasons for many years. But a few years ago, a Marine I used to work with at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, he lost his son. His son was a beast. He was 18 years old. He enlisted in the Marine Corps. He was about to go to boot camp. He was running a half marathon. And after he crossed the finish line, he collapsed dead. Gosh. I mean, a warrior of a young man ready to serve his country and do whatever, anyone asked of him. And his saying for his whole life was, I just want to be better than I was yesterday. It's me versus me. There's no one judging me, Mom. There's no one judging me, Dad. 18 years old.
Oh, my Lord.
A phenomenal young warrior. And shout out to the Zavalos family and Junior, who's up in heaven watching all of us right now. Like, And, he's a huge, and I've said that my whole life, but it never hit home to me until that moment happened a few years ago. And that's why I got it tattooed on my arm.
Yeah.
And now I feel like, and I've known this young man, since he was a tiny little boy is when I first met him.
Wow.
And their family holds a dear place in my heart and always will. But it's so impactful, like me versus me. I'm not in competition with anyone else.
Nobody
Right?
is.
It's very easy to get in competition with other people.
Sure.
It's very easy to compare. It's easy to do all that. But like, it's me versus me, man. I just want to be better than I was yesterday, period.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
that's what it's about for me.
That's real. That's so real. I don't know, I probably heard it from somewhere, but comparison's the thief of joy.
Yeah.
But it's also the thief of healing. Comparison's the thief of healing because we go, oh, well, I didn't have this. And man, trauma is trauma,
Absolutely.
Andrew Koval, shout out to him, the book, Summer 2009, amazing guy. But he said in there, like last line, he talks about all these combat deployments and he lost his best friend over there and just all the stuff. It's beautiful because he goes through his journal from back then and then reflects now. And it's just all the growth and all the things. And he's just a really good dude. But he says in there, trauma is trauma. If it's a big deal to you, it's a big deal. That's all that matters, So this whole comparison thing, like, no. Stop that shit.
Absolutely.
Stop it. If it's a big deal and it's hindering you, whatever fill in the blank is, addictions are many of things. It could be you're addicted to attention. You're addicted to money. You're addicted to success, motivated, dedicated. Oh, you're a workaholic. You know what I mean? Like, that's the truth of it. But there's certain industries and organizations that will encourage that. And, some of the top rock stars are the ones who are so close and hang on by a fucking thread.
Absolutely.
And we don't see that all the time, but you can self-inflict. So whatever the thing is that is hindering you from being your best self, like the great poet Ice Cube said it, you better check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Right.
And that's the God's honest truth. And sometimes not just, we talk about the service and unselfishness and serving others and self-love. I love it. But also, who is the you that's showing up for people? If we have 100% output, if you're these things, whatever the fill in the blank is only giving you a 50% output on the father, the mother, the brother, the sister, the human, the neighbor, the Marine, the soldier, the whatever, fill in the blank, what role you carry in life. If you're only getting a 50% output of effectiveness because this other thing is draining 50 to 30% or whatever it is, what could happen if you cut that thing out, that activity, that behavior, and you could put out 75% to others? Like, you will show up as a better you. So it's like this circle of good, because it's not just you loving yourself and showing up better and feeling better and being better, but you're showing up as a better version for those around you. I talk often about, the brick by brick is from Will Smith. He says, you don't set out to build a wall, you set out to lay a brick as perfectly as a brick can be laid, and so on and so forth, But he slapped Chris Rock, right? And that was a hurt person who hurt somebody that didn't deserve it. But, one, complacency. I've talked about that on the show. But two, like, how many of us are metaphorically smacking people all the time in our lives?
Yeah.
Day by day, and that's something. Like, I never sought help or any of that stuff, never got sober until I saw my son tiptoeing, even after suicide attempts, and my wife telling me for years, and hiding guns in the house, and all this and this and this, and this wasn't enough for me to stop. But when I saw him tiptoeing, like, did I do something? And I'm like, I saw myself in him. Because that's how I grew up a lot of times, was I'm not happy unless this person's happy. And if this person's not happy or that person's not happy, then nobody's happy. So, it turned me into a clown, and comedy is a thing for me, a vessel. But when I saw him, I was like, oh, fuck, man. I didn't even realize, because I was just doing what, there's no diss on anybody. They didn't know what they know. I just doing normal. Just because something's normal doesn't mean that's what's right. And my son at the time was 10, and I could just see him. He's 9, I think, and tiptoeing around me. Like, he's gonna determine how he feels today based off of me. That's so fucked up.
Absolutely.
But how many of us are doing that? So, metaphorically, I was smacking him.
Yeah.
I was no better than what was carried out on national. I'm glad my smacks aren't on national television, so don't cast stones, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
when you show up and you become a better you, it's not just for you, but the you that you give to others. Think about that if you're out there right now. Like, and I got to think about it every fucking day, because I fall short. Oh my God, I'm so imperfect. And there's a lot of people that may comment, or you can go in the chat room with them and they'll tell you all about how I'm imperfect. So,
Same. I'm so imperfect. I don't ever want to be perfect. That's boring as fuck.
It won't happen.
Just, progression. That's all it is.
That's all it is. And what you say, like that young man said, better than I was yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And
Huge.
I fucking love you, man. And I know
love you
you
too.
got a lot of things to get on with your life of service. So I don't want to keep you here all day listening to Cam rants. But there's power in being vulnerable. And I just know that this episode today, you being vulnerable, you sharing, can give someone hope to live another day.
I hope so, and that's what it's all about. And I do want to put out here on this, because I've done it on all the rest of them I've asked to be part of, which is awesome. Yeah, like, I'm going to give you my phone number and my email address, and I do it for a reason.
Don't give it to my listeners. They'll fucking sign you up for spam calls.
It's all right. I'm all in. I'm all in.
Nah.
Bring it on. I'm dead serious when I say this. If you're in need and you need help, you need anything, you need resources, and something I said sparked an interest in you, and this is why I do it. One person out there, and I hope I hit home to one. So it's Beth, BETH.E.Abbott, ABBOTT @gmail.com. And my phone number is 989-400-3817. And I mean it when I say it. If you need help, reach out. Okay?
Yeah, don't be an asshole and sign up for spam calls like y'all did me when I posted on LinkedIn. You know how many daily? Like 5 calls a day.
I'm sure.
You need help with your taxes? And I'm like, I already did that. IRS will call me. Thank you, whoever the fuck robot you are.
Right.
Assholes, don't
No,
do
it'll
that
happen.
shit.
It's okay. I've done it multiple times. It is what it is.
You
It's
signed up
life.
other people for spam calls?
No. I don't even know how to do that.
Somebody fucking did. I'm
Sounds
tired of y'all. But in all realness, though, I want to say also, don't let Buffy be a single point of failure.
Yeah.
Don't put that on someone else out there. If you need help, there are multiple avenues, and you know what? Buffy has her own life, and Buffy may be dealing with her children, or she may be having some self-care at the moment. So don't be the person that's like, well, if Buffy didn't answer, or if Cam didn't answer, nobody cares. That's not fucking true.
Absolutely.
Don't put that on someone else. Please never put that on someone else. Like, there is 988. There are, I mean, even like Virginia, I know, and some other states have like a warm line
Absolutely.
that you can call when you're feeling like a little bit on the edge, to where you're not full-blown 988 call. I mean, you can call 911, right? There's so many options out there. So just don't let one person or one thing be the single point of failure.
Absolutely.
I've done that before, and it's just, I can't do
Yeah,
don't
you
do
can't.
that.
You
Don't
wanna
put that
hold
on her. Don't put that on me. Don't put that on anybody else.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this person doesn't care, so nobody does. No. That's you're deflecting, and you're neglecting your own care, and you're blaming it on someone else. Don't fucking do that to anybody. But also, you know, if she's willing to be there, she will be. If she can, she will be. But we're all humans, and life be fucking lifing for all of us.
Damn right.
Goodness gracious, it does. All right, to the subject and to my closeout question. If someone out there right now was contemplating making a permanent decision and ending their life and choosing death by suicide. We don't say commit suicide anymore. We do not say commit suicide no more. It implies so much. We never commit a good thing. We get committed, we commit crimes, we commit adultery, fill in the blank. We say died by suicide. There's power in words. There's power in verbiage, okay? So if someone was choosing to die by suicide right now, and you had the opportunity to say something to them, what would you say?
Man, it's such a great question. I would say you are worth it. I would say don't forget who the fuck you are. Don't forget the man or the woman you want to be. Don't forget about your family. And if you don't have any, I bet you have one person in your life that loves you and respects you and wants you on this earth. Chokes me up talking about it. Don't forget that if you have a beating heart and you put your hand over your heart, reach up there and feel that, and that's purpose. And that is enough on itself to live another day. There's a 3 to 5 somewhere in your Rolodex, in your phone, in something, in your email. That's all you got to do is pick up the phone and call. All you got to do is send one text. All you got to do is get out of your house and go for a walk. Talk to the neighbor. Make that call. Do not make that permanent solution, right, to that temporary problem. There is someone out there for you every day, all day long, for the rest of our lives until they put us in a grave. It's not worth it. And we're all here, right? One team, one fight, one family. And I truly mean that for all human beings.
Man. God, ooh, shit. All right. You get me, man. You get me. Fucking allergies and shit. No, it's okay. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being willing to share your light, to serve. It's so powerful. You have no idea. You know, like everyone you meet's fighting a battle you know nothing about.
Damn right.
So be kind, always. That's the irony of that. Robin Williams said that. And he's also the one who said, don't choose a permanent solution for temporary circumstances. And all of this, I don't care if you believe in theology, geology, all of this shit is temporary. You'd be amazed at how people can rebound in life. I mean, you're talking about divorces, marriages ending, being away from your children, being locked up, being incarcerated, hurting other people, losing everything, going from hero to zero in your Marine Corps journey. And you're still here, and you're still helping other people. And you're still thriving. You're not just staying alive, you're thriving. What I'm saying to all of y'all is there's hope for a better day. And you have no idea who or what is coming down this road of life. You have no idea. And I love what Brad Bonar said from 1 Degree of Separation. He says, wait. When I asked him that question on this podcast, he said, wait. And he's the one that had a 5150, and he talks about it publicly, but he's been, committed to a, institution and things of that nature for suicide. And his advice was wait. So it just what she said, go on that walk, call that person, get the fuck out of wherever you're at. And you'd be surprised how you might not feel like that in 3 hours, So call someone, don't be near a gun, don't be playing with things that are lethal. We've lost too many people. And definitely with alcohol. Oh my God. Yeah. Every suicidal attempt that I've ever had or strong ideation was tied to alcohol. Not in the beginning, not the first 2 drinks, but somewhere down the line.
Absolutely.
Because we're more impulsive. Us as veterans, and so many are familiar and comfortable with weapons, so we're not afraid, male or woman, to die by suicide with a gun. But that is the one way, unfortunately, that you're pretty much guaranteed to die. And we choose that because we're decisive, but that's where the double-edged sword. So I'm going on a rant, but what I really want to say is thank you. I've been wanting to do this episode for so fucking long, and it's 85. That's the year I arrived. That was my first jersey number I ever had on a sports team. This means a lot.
Yeah,
and I love you. I love you so much.
I love you too.
I'm going to show my fat rolls, and I'm going to hug her over the table. That's what I'm going to do. I love you, sister.
I love you too.
I've never hugged somebody on here. I love you. You're going to knock down my cheap table. No, I'm just playing. Hey, y'all, I'll put all the stuff in the show notes. This has been another episode of the Real Resilience Talk podcast. Y'all know I'm trashy. I ain't doing no editing, throwing in. I'm holding my phone up to this shit.
That's what I'm talking about.
But like I always tell y'all, this show is not monetized. I will never do ads on this show. This show is the First Amendment in full effect, inspired by the First Amendment. And Dr. Maya Angelou, who once said, if you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. That's why this show exists. And I hope someone out there doesn't feel alone. You don't feel alone. Don't let yourself get there. Love y'all. Any safe rounds, my friend?
No. One thing, tough times never last, tough people do.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. All right, man. Real Resilience Talk, episode 85. Don't just survive and stay alive, but let's fucking thrive. We're here anyways. We might as well fucking make fun with it. All right? Much love to all of you. Please check out the show notes on all the episodes because I share a lot of good resources, and I'm going to get you a list and plug it in the show notes too. She has a list of fucking phenomenal resources that she's tried and true and went through, and it's fucking out there. So much love, make good choices, be there for one another, and please never choose a permanent solution for a temporary problem. Much love. Mic drop.